What up, bros, and welcome to the All Bros podcast. I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Caleb.
And we are a couple of aspiring filmmakers that love to watch and critique movies, but also enjoy a lot of bit of the nerd life. This week on the podcast, we are joined actually by a special guest. Her name is Whitney Oppenhuizen. I said that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Nailed it.
Yes! So this week on the podcast, we'll be talking about some adventures in hunting. We got literally something for everything. Do I really need to go through all of those?
Go through them all.
Okay. All right. In Blu-rays, we got 2 big titles coming out, and then one that Caleb and I never checked out. Well, actually, wait, no, we didn't check out 2 of these. But
yeah.
Anyway, we'll get to those. Whatever. We have no Through the Wall news this week. And then we'll be talking about this week's sneak peeks. We got 3 trailers to talk about. And then we'll be going over what's in the box. And then we'll be doing our main event of the evening, which will be our breakdown of A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
Hell yes.
So, what do you say we get started?
Let's do it.
All right, so before we begin, Whitney, would you like to tell us about yourself?
Sure. I am a relationship and intuition coach, which is like a hard left from what you guys are doing, but I'm a big movie fan and buff. And can I just share how we randomly connected? Because I feel like it's like a little different than, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Rogers brings everyone together is just what I'm going to say. Yeah, I ran into you guys after posting and kind of sharing my article that I wrote about my take on the Mr. Rogers movie and kind of like from my coaching angle. So yeah, ran into you guys on the internet as folks do now. And so I'm a relationship and intuition coach, and I work with people who want to just shift patterns that they have in relationships. So be living out the same pattern over and over again, or insecurities, or you name it. I work with folks like from the 20s to 40s on just living out better relationships and enjoying life more. So yeah, it's been super fun work that I've been able to do for the last year or so. And yeah, that's pretty much me. Always been a big movie fan. So I guess that's my like little Venn diagram with you guys. Worked in a movie theater in high school. Watched way too many of them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, you can never have to watch too many movies.
Yeah.
Right. Agreed.
So you just like you help people with, so is it like personality stuff? Like if someone had an issue with apologizing too much, could you help them?
Absolutely.
Right here.
Yep, I can totally help with that.
You're such an ass.
Or he's a good friend and he's looking out for you. It's one of the two.
Thank you.
She's talking about me.
No. Whatever. I feel attacked. I'm just kidding.
Oh, don't feel attacked.
I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Good.
I'm totally
good.
kidding.
See what I mean? He apologizes too much. Can't make a joke.
No,
or you can make a joke.
No, I
can't.
can't.
You just apologize for it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because I don't know like how some people are gonna take it. You know how this, generation, some of this generation is nowadays.
Fair enough. All right, well, let's get into Adventures in Hunting, shall we?
Okay, let's do it. All right, so first up, we got a couple Cinderella pops coming out. And let's see, so we got the Cinderella carriage coming out. I don't think any of these are exclusive, right?
No, they're not.
Okay. I don't know, this one looks pretty cool. I don't have any interest in it.
Yeah, they're all pretty cool. Do you collect pop figures at all, or have you seen them around, or?
I have seen them around for sure, and actually before I came on with you guys, I was like, okay, I need to Google like Pops figures that I would give a crap about. And so I Googled Dawson's Creek, and they exist, and they're the lamest looking Pops figures ever because they're just like kids in regular clothes. Like, they're not exciting. But the Cinderella ones look super cute.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then we got the fairy godmother, and then Cinderella and her. This is the dress that the mice made for her, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. And then, like you said, the Cinderella's carriage. Not really one that I'm interested in, but it looks cool.
I honestly want the fairy godmother.
Really?
That one looks really cool. I always loved that character.
Odd.
What's that supposed to mean?
You can take that how you will.
You
This
just
is
want like, a good
2019.
witch to be on your side to like make stuff sparkly for you. That's why
see?
you want a fairy godmother.
Since it's 2019, I'm going to be offended by it.
Cool.
All right, next up, we got some Good Place Pops coming out. The only one I know is Kristen Bell.
Oh my god.
That's Kristen Bell, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I forget that guy's name, like the guy with the glasses.
Is
old
it
guy.
Ted Danson?
Yeah,
Sure,
that's
we'll go
Ted
with
Danson's
that.
character.
Oh, okay.
I love The Good Place.
I don't know.
Oh my
the
gosh,
others.
it's so good.
It's so good. It's so good.
You guys go ahead and talk about this because I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Come on.
Well, I'm not up to
What?
speed on the latest season, but I doubt that there are many new characters being introduced.
No, it's just the same people. So there's. I'm not very good with names.
No, he is not.
But Ted Danson's character, who plays Michael.
All right.
I don't know the other actors and actresses' names. But we got Janet, and it looks like she's holding a cactus.
I love it.
Interesting.
Then Kristen Bell's character, and she is holding some frozen yogurt.
Okay. All right.
Then there's another character, Jason Mendoza, I think is his name.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of a really basic pose for him. And then...
And there's Chidi, who's
yes,
William Jackson.
that's his name.
Yep.
Yeah, and he is reading some sort of book. Probably a philosophy book.
I would hope so.
And then the last one...
I forget her name, but it's Jamila Jamil's character. I forget the character's name, but...
Oh my gosh, that's going to bug me.
Oh, Tahani.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and then Tahani, she's just kind of in like a flower dress.
Mm-hmm.
I love this movie. Or not the movie, the show. Love it.
It's really good.
Yeah, you should jump on this bandwagon, Rose.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
It is. It's really good. It blows like any assumption you have out of the water as to like what could potentially happen after death, and then it actually makes it super entertaining because if that's what's on the other side, like sign me up because it's a giant mystery and really entertaining.
Okay, that actually does sound very entertaining. What network is it on?
Is it on NBC? I don't know. I just watch it on Netflix.
Oh, okay, it's on Netflix. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's I'm pretty sure it's NBC.
I
Okay.
think so.
All right, I'll check it out. All right, next up, we got a Big Daddy pop coming out of Scuba Steve.
Scuba Sam.
Oh, Scuba Sam?
Yeah, so Scuba
Oh, yeah.
Steve is the little boy's
Yeah,
figure,
I
and
forgot.
Scuba Sam is Adam Sandler dressed up like Scuba Steve and saying that he's Scuba Steve's dad.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh my god, that's like a
Yeah,
callback.
it is. And I
that's
don't know how I
crazy.
forgot that. I love this movie.
Yeah, I loved it too. I just remember it better than you.
Way to rub it in. Oh yeah, done. It's written right there. Wow, I'm stupid. I don't know how I missed that. Or
That's
whatever.
what happens when you don't read, Rose.
Apparently. All right, before I'm ridiculed even more by my own self. So Funko recently released their 12 Days of Funko Pops, and I think you were able to get a bundle, right? Wasn't it a bundle?
Mm-hmm.
So this bundle included the Icy Polar Bear holding a cherry icy.
Oh, those are the best types of ices.
I would agree. We got a Drax, which... Did they ever release Drax?
They had a Guardians of the Galaxy Drax. They
But not a comic accurate Drax?
Yeah, not a comic accurate.
Alright, so a comic accurate Drax. We have the Pillsbury Doughboy holding a plate of chocolate chip cookies and wearing a Santa suit. Minus the hat. We got Scooby-Doo wearing a Santa hat wrapped up in Christmas lights. That is just too adorable. I kind of want that. That's just too cute. Whoops. Next up we got a lot of is it 2 or 3 Baseball Furies? Oh, it's 2. One where he has green face paint, or a green face, and then another one where he has a red face. I've never seen the Warriors, so I don't know.
No, I haven't either.
Oh, okay.
I was just going to ask you who they were.
Nope. You've got me, man.
Do you know who they are?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Awesome. We're all on the same page.
Yes.
Yep. I should have just made something up, though. That would have been the wise move.
Then we got a Funko original character called Jingles. He's an ornament, and that's just awesome. That's pretty great. Then we got a Huckleberry Hound Pop with him wearing a Santa hat. And we got a I'm going to butcher this. Ashy.
From Overwatch?
Yeah.
I haven't played Overwatch.
I don't know. I'm going to go with Ashi because Ashy, I feel sounds really... I feel I'm butchering it if I say that. Next up, we got a hologram Rick clone, which glows in the dark.
That's pretty sick.
That is very cool. And then we got a Tinkerbell wearing a Santa hat. That one's awesome. And then I think this is the last one. We got a 10-inch Frankenberry.
Nice.
I haven't had Frankenberry cereal before.
I never have either. I've never had Count Chocula, Frankenberry, or Boo Berry.
Yeah, neither have I.
I at least want to try Boo Berry. Probably next Halloween. I'll do that.
You a fan of any of those cereals?
Are you guys there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, it just froze up on me.
Uh-oh.
No, you're good. So did you have any, or were you a fan of any of those cereals?
Frankenberry 100%. Like anything berry flavored.
Yeah, my mom went with the not name brand cereals.
But it was like special. Like if we got Count Chocula or like any of the berry or like Fruity Pebbles in the house, that was like, it was your birthday week or it was a big deal.
Oh, we didn't even get that.
So
like it's kind of like Honey Nut Cheerios was a treat. And it wasn't even like Honey Nut Cheerios. That's what we called it.
Oh my God. Oh, she got you the knockoff brand of Honey Nut Cheerios?
Yeah.
Oh, that can't compare to the original. It tastes so different.
Yeah, I know that now as an adult. Ugh.
All right. Next up, after that, we got some... they're called the Child, but let's face it, it's Baby Yoda. That's literally what it is. And so that will be coming with a regular size pop and a 10-inch pop. So I'm assuming that will probably be going to Target.
More than likely.
And I've never seen The Mandalorian yet. I haven't seen it yet.
Dude!
Sorry.
Have you... Or do you have Disney Plus?
I don't. I need to like steal a friend's or something like that because there's too much goodness out there.
Oh, Disney Plus is great.
Okay, so is this where Baby Yoda is coming from?
Yes. He's coming from the Disney Plus show The Mandalorian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Over my head. I'm a Star Wars fan, but I have not jumped on the Disney Plus bandwagon yet.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, I got Disney Plus because we were doing the breakdown of The Lady and the Tramp, which was on that. The new one. And I was originally just going to go with like the 7-day trial and then just like cancel it, but I couldn't.
Yeah, same.
That's what I'm worried about. Yeah, I have too much going on right now to like get Disney Plus and then just forget about the rest of the world and sit and watch all the new and old stuff that's on there.
Yeah, I've been catching up on shows, been watching stuff I didn't get to as a kid.
Like Wizards of Waverly Place?
No, I got to watch Wizards of...
Okay, alright, at least you got to watch that.
No, I'm watching X-Men.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you get to watch That's So Raven?
Hmm?
Oh, you did? Your mom lets you watch That's So Raven?
I mean, when she wasn't in the room, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah, I was sheltered.
Really? Yeah,
really
I'm like,
was.
why can't you watch That's So Raven? That's like such a PG show.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to watch shows like SpongeBob either.
Oh, that's so sad. That's so sad. Well, I'm glad you're watching whatever you want to watch now, hopefully.
Yeah, but Rose has a lot more nostalgia for some of those shows than I do because I didn't get to start watching them until I was older.
Mm-hmm.
You poor thing. Like, he didn't even get to watch Jimmy Neutron or the Fairly Odd
No,
Parents.
I could watch Jimmy Neutron.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't watch Fairly Odd Parents.
It wasn't really even that bad.
I know it wasn't that bad. Now as
So,
an adult,
could you not even watch the Jimmy Timmy Power Hours?
I did watch those because Jimmy Neutron was included in that.
Okay, alright. At least you could watch those.
I just didn't understand like who Timmy was.
Oh.
I was just like, oh, okay.
You're just like, who the hell is this guy and why is he so bulgy? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, next, I can't even read. Oh, first appearance, Spider-Man and Vulture. Okay, I gotta find those. I'm sorry. Oh, here they are. I'm sorry, I'm very unprepared. So, I don't know how I feel about... I like the original Vulture, but I kind of like what they did with him in Homecoming better.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the nose.
I'm not either. Are you a fan of Vulture as a villain? Spider-Man villain?
I'm going to say no, because I've never been a big fan of Spider-Man. I'm like making the brace face in case
kidding.
you guys like kick me off right now. There's nothing against Spider-Man. I've just like never got into him as much as, I don't know, Batman or any of the other men. Or Wonder Woman. She's great too.
Wonder Woman is great.
Yeah.
I'm with you there, though. That nose.
Yeah, that nose is a lot.
It's a lot to take. Apparently they decided to cross Pinocchio and the Vulture.
Yeah, basically.
And then after that, we got first appearance Spider-Man, and I love that. That looks fantastic.
Yeah, I like the blue highlights on the where the blue's supposed to be or usually is.
Yeah, it looks great. This better not be exclusive.
Oh, I'd be so pissed.
Because I have to have this.
I don't know if I can justify getting another Spider-Man.
Caleb, I will buy it for your birthday.
Okay. Well, that fixes that issue.
Just get another shelf. Then you have a ton of space to grow them.
The thing is, like, he can't do that because he's already being downsized in a couple months, so...
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But it's for a good cause.
Okay. All right.
Arguable.
Damn. Wow.
Yeah, so right now I have, like, half of the room up, and I have, like, some shelves behind where you can't see. And, yeah, so in February... It's going to be before that. I'm getting booted to that corner. So my wife can turn this into a nursery.
Okay, fair. Yep. That probably takes over.
Yeah. So I need to figure out where I'm putting everything in that corner.
Just stack things on top of each other. You could have a tower of Spider-Man.
Just have, like, shelves running throughout your house with your pops on it. No, Brielle won't mind, right?
Don't say that too loud. Oh. She might hear you.
All right. After that, we have some Waterboy pops coming out. And this is actually one of, like, Adam Sandler's movies I've never seen. Have either of you seen The Waterboy?
Oh,
I don't remember.
Adam Sandler from forever ago, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I loved that movie.
I remember seeing that. I don't remember it that well.
There's a lot of lines I'm thinking of and, like, imitations I can do that I don't want to put on the internet for forever.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. The foosball is the devil is all I can really say. And water sucks. It really, really sucks.
All right, so the two that are coming out for this series, we got one common and one exclusive. The common will be him wearing an awesome orange vest. I think that's a vest, right?
Yeah, it's like his water station thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when he is the water boy.
That's awesome. He's got a stack of cups, and then he's holding a cup. I don't know how to explain these. I'm sorry.
You're doing a great job. Stop apologizing.
Well, okay, thank you. Caleb's been trying to get me to do that his whole life.
Aw.
Or at least for the past 10 years.
Yeah, trying to be, but you're not letting me.
Sometimes. I'm just kidding.
Whoa!
I'm kidding. Shots fired. And then the exclusive, which will be coming to Target, is him dressed as a football player, holding his helmet and a bucket of water. At least I hope that's water.
Just a bucket.
Yeah, sure, just a bucket. All right, and then after that, we got a Quiet Place pop coming out, which will be, spoiler alert, I've never seen A Quiet Place yet. So it's the monster from A Quiet Place, I guess.
That's a huge spoiler. Because shouldn't you not know? I haven't seen A Quiet Place either, but I feel like the whole point of that movie from the trailers I watched was like, you don't know what it is. Am I wrong?
Well, Caleb, we just spoiled it. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
No, like, it... no, it's not like Bird Box.
Oh my god. Did you guys review Bird Box?
No, we did not. I never watched it.
Oh my god. Make it like, I don't know if you guys...
Yeah, we never got it.
Yeah. You should do like a terrible movie review series, and that can be like one of the leading ones. Or just like movies that you had really high expectations of that just bombed.
I mean, we already started that with 50 Shades of Grey, so might as well.
I need to go listen to that one.
It's pretty funny. That was a fun one to make. We enjoyed that one.
Oh my gosh.
All right. After that, we have the ice suit Batman.
Pretty sure that's George Clooney's Batman.
Yeah, that's literally what it is. Does he have bat nipples?
Dude, what is your obsession with bat nipples?
Well, they got to make it screen accurate. Am I wrong?
Whatever.
Oh my god, I love it.
I mean, cool pop, but it's missing the nipples.
Yeah, is it though?
I don't think you could do that on a
No,
pop. That's like, isn't it supposed to be kind of like a kid's toy? Like they're wholesome and cute? No?
I mean, you kind of be surprised the kind of stuff that Funko does.
Really? Okay, I gotta fall into that wormhole, apparently.
They do like horror pops, and like the one that they just barely came out with is Chucky cutting off the head of a Jack-in-the-Box.
Oh my god. Okay, well,
yeah.
I retract my previous statement.
Oh, that's not even the most messed up one.
That's
the
true.
Krampus one.
Oh yeah, that's true.
There's a Krampus Pops?
Yeah, there's one of him carrying a child in a sack.
I'm Googling this right now.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my god. What the hell?
Right?
I need to figure out who I can get this for Christmas. Like, I need to go down my family list, and they're going to look in their stocking on Christmas morning and be like, what the hell just happened?
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Honestly, I swear, if and when I do have children, there's no such thing as Cole. They're getting a Krampus bell. If they're bad, they're getting a Krampus bell.
You're evil.
I know I am.
But I'm totally on board with that. My child is going to know who Krampus is.
All right. I don't know if you wrote this one down. But there is a Diamond Edition Olaf coming to Barnes & Noble.
I did not have that one.
It's literally just the same common Frozen 2 Olaf pop, but he's glitterized. Is that a word?
Glitterized? Absolutely.
Yes. I do speak English.
Every once in a while.
Yeah. All right, after that, we got some Ice Cube pops coming out. So, like, does this mean that they're going to make a whole line of NWA?
Probably.
First up, we got, it looks like Ice Cube cracking his knuckles. Doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And then the next one is him just in a awesome car, wearing his classic flannel and a bandana. So this looks like a scene out of one of the Friday movies.
I haven't seen the Friday movies.
They're pretty funny.
Yeah?
They're pretty enjoyable, especially the first one. So, okay. All right, we better begin an MC Ren pop. That's all I'm saying. And then last but not least, we got some more It Chapter 2 pops. I swear Pennywise is turning into Batman. For how many versions they come out of this character.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, where the hell is it? Shit, I lost it.
Nice.
Okay, well, I know one is... What is it? Oh, here it is. Okay, so we got... Have they ever said, like, Pennywise's actual name?
No.
Okay. Well, so the first one we got is him, like, in the old days with the Pennywise makeup, but he's, like, dressed up as what he used to be, I guess. I don't know what he is.
Well, he's a space alien.
Okay, a space alien, but, you know, like, he's dressed in, like, actual regular clothes. He's not dressed in a clown outfit. But he does have the Pennywise makeup on. And then the other one, I'm just gonna call this Stephen King. It's Stephen King.
Yeah.
And then the other one we have is Pennywise, but a full-on suit. But he's doing
that's the one of him from the picture.
Yeah, I love the teeth thing. It's awesome.
Freaking weird.
But it's awesome. And then we got Funhouse Pennywise, which is pretty cool. This is going to be a cool, like, not playset. I don't know the word. What's it called? What are these called?
I don't know what they're called.
Okay, well, anyway, the pop is of him, like, when he smacks himself against the glass and is, like, shining his teeth at the kid before he eats him. Not shining his teeth, like, showcasing his, like, big, beautiful teeth before he takes a bite out of the kid's head.
Dude, does he even, like, eat the kid? It just seems like the kid explodes.
That's that's a good point. That's a very good point. You know what I would love is like when he like has the firefly in that one scene and he's like counting down like 3, 2. I don't know why it'd be so funny if they released a pop of him like actually like when he's like drooling over the kid.
That'd be cool.
That'd be so gross, but so funny if they actually released a Pennywise drooling pop. Oh, that'd be so disturbing. Speaking of Pennywise, let's lead into our Blu-rays of the week. It Chapter 2 is coming out. I feel that was a good
segue?
Yeah.
That was a damn good segue.
Yeah.
We don't have very many of those.
No, we don't, but that was a great one. So It Chapter 2 will be coming to 4K, Blu-ray, and DVD. It's already out on digital, but it will be coming out this week. Excuse me, I'm so sorry about that. I'm just dying over here. Oh, sorry. So Best Buy will be getting an exclusive Steelbook, which I, of course, have to have because I have the first one on Steelbook. So there's that. Have you seen It Chapter 2, Whitney?
No, I have not, because I'm scared.
Have you seen the first one?
I've seen the original one, not like the more recent remake. No, I need to get on my horror movie shtick again.
It's really good.
That's what everybody tells me. I
definitely recommend it.
Okay. I gotta just hole up in my house and forget I have a job and a life and watch all the movies I've been ignoring lately.
I would love to be able to do that. I'm just saying.
Right?
Dude, that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah. Who needs work? Just tell that to my landlord. Who needs work?
It's like, yeah, I was totally going to pay rent, but It Chapter 2 came out.
Yeah. I'm trying to catch up on all the movies I bought on Black Friday. You understand, right? All right. Also, coming out this week, we got Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino, I can talk. It is his 9th film, and this will be getting a Best Buy exclusive Steelbook as well as a Target exclusive that comes with a movie magazine. It sounds really dumb, but that's just me. And then I think there's like this big like box set that comes with I think like lithographs and stuff like that, and that's like $70.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Did you go see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Whitney?
That came out in the summer, didn't it? Or over? When did
I think so. I think it came out in August.
Yeah, I remember it coming out, and then by the time I got... So in the summer, I live in a ranch in like super rural Wyoming for my 9-to-5 job, working at a kid's summer camp. And I don't get a lot of time off. I'm working like 6-7 days in a row. And by the time I got back to my little rural town, it was gone, which happened with like 6 or 7 movies this year, which is just sad. So the winter is my time to see movies. Yeah.
I mean, we missed it too, so I'm tempted.
Okay, I feel less guilty now.
On this.
Well, we didn't miss it. We just didn't go see it.
Yeah. That's the thing, like, I think I was planning on
difference.
seeing it, like, one Wednesday night, but then something came up, so I'm like, damn it. But, and then also, yeah, we got 3 movies coming out this week. Holy crap. We got Hustlers, starring Jennifer Lopez and a bunch of other girls. I don't know their names. I'm sorry. I'm horrible with names. I've heard this is a really good movie, though.
I haven't heard a lot about it. So.
Really? It actually did very well at the box office.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it did pretty well.
Okay. I might have to check that one out then.
Yeah. I mean, I'd Redbox it first.
I Redbox it?
Yeah. I'm not blind buying it. Maybe when it's like $10, but not for 20.
Fair enough.
All right. After that, we got. Let's move on to Through the Wall. I don't know why I keep saying after that. It doesn't.
We don't have anything in Through the Wall.
Oh yeah, we don't. I'm sorry. I'm killing it.
Damn it, Rose! Can't you see it's blank?
I'm sorry. I'm killing it this week. All right. With this week's sneak peeks, first up, we got our second trailer for Mulan. Still not sold on this movie. I don't.
What's irritating me is that I thought this was going to be like a more realistic approach to Mulan.
That's what I thought too.
But they are introducing the concept of witches, and they are not including Mushu in any of these trailers.
Well, he's not even in the movie, right?
He might not be.
I don't think he is. If he was, I'd be so mad if they did not bring Eddie Murphy back to voice him.
Right, yeah, that would be a problem. That was like with Aladdin, I loved, but there was no Robin Williams to voice the genie, and like Will Smith was a great genie, but Robin Williams is the genie. So, I don't know. Yeah, also, there's no musicals in it.
Issue.
So is it a Disney movie if there's no like song? Like it's not a musical.
Right? Okay, the part when he's like, I'll make a man out of all of you. I'm like, that really?
Right?
I see what you're doing there.
That's the line where then the song kicks in. Like, that's what's supposed to happen there. Yeah.
Just like, you're just teasing us, aren't you, Disney? You guys are assholes.
That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
They're just like,
Psych!
It's like that, what is it, that State Farm commercial where the dude's like with the fishing pole and the dollar. He's like, I got you $1.
You almost
He's
had
like,
it.
oh, you almost had it.
You gotta be quicker than that. Alright, do you guys have anything else you want to add to the Mulan trailer?
Not
I don't know. It looked good to me, but I don't remember there being a witch, which is what really threw me. Because there wasn't a witch in the original one, right?
Nope.
Or there was?
No, there wasn't.
Okay, it kills me when they do that.
You guys are going to kill me, but I've never seen the original.
Are you shitting me?
What?
How do you have Disney Plus and not have seen Mulan?
I gotta watch Aladdin first, and then I will.
Why?
Because I've never seen Aladdin.
You still
either.
haven't. Wait, you haven't seen the original Aladdin either?
Nope.
What?
I know.
What? Were you not allowed to? Did it just like
no
not pique your interest when you were a kid? Like, what's the story?
My grandma didn't have the VHS of it, so.
Oh, okay, fair.
That's how I watched most of my Disney movies was at my grandma's.
Yeah, that's my story too. So I can't be that mad. But I'm pretty sure I saw Aladdin in the theater though. I was like really young, but I did.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You have no excuse anymore because you have Disney Plus.
I know I don't. I don't have to spend like $30 on each of these movies.
Rose.
Hey, at least I finally watched Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah, before Mulan and Aladdin.
Yeah, okay. Oh, well, I would have watched Lady and the Tramp before Mulan anyway.
You were required to watch Aladdin and Mulan before next week.
Yes, sir. I capped in.
Yeah, that's good homework. You have Disney Plus, right?
Yeah.
That's what... Okay, so yeah, absolutely no excuses.
Mm-hmm.
They're not even long movies. They're like kids movies from the like 90s.
Yeah,
so I could an hour and a half.
Yeah, I could not believe how short The Lady and the Tramp was. It was only like an hour and 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn. All right, next trailer we got is for Togo, which my stupid autocorrect did for Toto when I asked Caleb if he'd seen this trailer yet.
Yeah, I was looking at Toto and it just kept sending me to the Africa song. I was just like, what the hell is he talking about?
But no, so this movie stars Willem Dafoe, and it is about sled dogs. That's literally what it's about.
It looks super good, though.
It does. It does look really good.
Yeah, I'm all about it. Do you guys remember Balto, the cartoon?
Yes.
I don't think
I
think it was Disney, but it was like very similar ilk. And I loved it. And I like Googled it after I watched the Togo trailer, and I was like, holy crap, Togo's way cooler than Balto, and like Balto's gotten all the glory all these years. So I'm pretty psyched. Did you Okay. History. Balto just did the last like third of the race to get the medicine to Nome or whatever. But Togo did the whole thing. Like that dog and his sled team and the guy that William Dafoe plays. So like Togo and William Dafoe are way more badass than Balto was.
Huh. I mean,
Dog
that's
nerd.
fine. That's how a majority of my group projects went.
Yeah.
I did the heavy lifting and someone else took all the credit.
Me? I'm just kidding. I don't think we ever worked on projects in high school together, did we?
Not any that we were supposed to.
True. I don't know why, but when I watched this, Snow Dogs came to mind. Does anyone remember that movie?
Oh my god. Wasn't it Cuba Gooding Jr. in that?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Classic. Okay, I don't know about classic, but still.
Yeah.
It's still
classic.
enjoyable.
Entertaining.
Yes. Yeah, it is very much entertaining.
I thought Iron Will. Do you guys know that Disney movie?
I don't.
It's from like the early 90s. It was live action. It had, I don't even know who in it. Like they weren't super famous actors because it was like a Disney live action movie from the early 90s. But yeah, it was based on a book that's basically like Balto, but not. It's about this kid that like wants to be a dog sled racer and gets this like ragtag group of dogs together and goes and enters the Iditarod. It's pretty good. At least like my 10-year-old self really liked it. I probably haven't watched it in 20 years.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah. That one's not even like ringing a bell with me. Dude, is it just me or are there a lot of like Snow Dog movies coming out?
Yeah, there is.
So there's like this one, and then there's the animated one that Jeremy Renner's doing.
That already came out.
Did it?
Yeah, like Arctic Dogs or something like
Yeah.
that.
I feel like Sled Dogs is like
hear that.
a thing.
They're having a moment.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they definitely are.
All right, and then last but not least, we finally got our first official trailer for Black Widow, which I'm so excited.
This looks pretty good.
If there's not at least one mention of Clint, I'm going to be pissed.
Dude, everyone's throwing a big ol' bitch fit because they think that everyone's fat shaming Red Guardian.
It's, oh my goodness. It's a funny joke, people. Come on.
Yeah, and he kind of does it himself. He's like, it still fits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I just
how
like
I am.
seeing Hopper be a superhero.
Oh,
Yeah.
That was my favorite part about that.
It was pretty great.
I love it. The only thing that I'm not a huge fan of, and there's a couple things. There was what's his name? William Hurt? Is that his name? The one that plays the General Ross?
Yeah.
William Hurt?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was this shot of him in there, and it looks weird. Like, it looks like they were trying to DH him.
Wait, was that him?
Yeah.
That guy that
The
says,
standing in the middle of the military people?
Oh.
Yeah, that was him.
Okay, Marvel, you got to work on that.
My theory is that's not really him standing there.
It's a scroll.
No, I'm not saying it's a scroll. I'm saying it's like someone completely different.
All right.
And then they just kind of like try to edit someone over him. And then the other thing I'm not a big fan of is Taskmaster's helmet. And it's a lot of people have been complaining about it, saying that it looks like he's about ready to go enter a paintball tournament. Yeah, and his mask is supposed to look like a skull, and it doesn't. So that's another thing about that bugs me.
Can you imagine, though, having paintball arrows? Like, having a paintball...
Oh my gosh, that'd be so dumb.
That'd be a paintball war with bow and arrows. Like, that actually sounds fun.
I'm pretty sure they do that. I mean, it's not paintballs, but they have,
it's
like,
archery tag.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always wanted to do that. That sounds like so much fun. Like, being honest here.
Yeah. So, what did you think of the trailer?
I thought it was... I liked it. Like, I've seen some of the Marvel movies over the years because there's so freaking many of them. I always like Scarlett Johansson. I'm a big Jeremy Renner fan. Like, I'll go see it. I'm pumped.
Nice.
Did you?
Although there's one scene where she's in some like white uniform, which I assume she has to be in to like be undercover for something, but she just looked like a stormtrooper to me, and I was not a fan of that.
She did.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah, so that's supposed to be like her snow suit, I guess.
Okay. Well, she just looks
kind
like
of blend in because her black suit would look a little too conspicuous in the snow.
I mean, I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than that, great trailer. It wasn't... Compared to other Marvel trailers, it was kind of, like, mild.
It was.
Like, the tone.
Yeah. But it worked.
Yeah. All right, so 1 through 3, or putting which one you want to see most at to least.
Also, best to least?
Yeah, or for
best
you.
to worst.
Best to worst, yeah.
Number 1, Black Widow. Number 2, Togo. And then number 3, Mulan.
Fair. What about you?
I'm gonna go Togo, Black Widow, Mulan. 'Cause dogs.
Nice. 'Cause dogs.
Yeah, I like dogs.
I don't know. With ones that grab my attention, I think Togo's on top for me. Like, I love the Black Widow trailer. Don't give me that look.
You are shaming the Marvel fandom right now.
No, like, Togo was a lot more just action-packed and exciting than I feel Black Widow was. But Black Widow's like a close second, and then it's Mulan. Don't give me that look.
I'm giving you that
I'm going
look.
off of which trailer did the best job at getting me to want to see it.
To me, Black Widow did that for me. But that's
Okay,
just me.
that's your opinion. You don't have to shame me.
I'm gonna shame you. ScarJo would be disappointed. She would. All right. Next up, we got what?
No, just.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right. What do you say we move on to our? Oh shit!
Trying to blind me, Rose? What the hell?
I'm sorry. Let's move on to our main event of the evening. Sorry about that.
Okay, let's do it.
Time for the main event.
It's main event time.
Let's play a game.
Alright, so with this main event of the evening, we'll be doing our All Bros breakdown, joined by our special guest, Whitney, and we will be breaking down A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. The
Hell yes.
new Mr. Rogers movie starring Tom Hanks.
Hell yeah. Alright, so for those of you who are new to our breakdown system, we split the movie into 8 different categories. We have it split into story, the writing, the acting, which we're just going to grade Tom Hanks and Matthew Rhys, because I think they were the ones that had
Matthew
the
Rhys.
most. Matthew Rhys?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're going to grade those two because they had the most significant roles. Everyone else wasn't on screen as much as them. We also have character development, the effects, the music, costumes, and then we just give it a overall grade. And we had a hard time figuring out the genre of this, and we just said it's like a kind of a biographical drama. If that
sounds
thing.
about right. Yeah. If it's not, trademark it right now.
Yes, let's do it.
Yes.
All right, so first off with story, Rose is going to read us a synopsis of the movie, and then we could just cut in whenever you have something you want to talk about.
Cool.
All right. In 1998, Lloyd Vogel, an award-winning Esquire journalist, attends his sister Lorraine's wedding, along with his wife Andrea and their newborn son Gavin. During their reception, Lloyd starts a fistfight with his father Jerry, who taunts Lloyd about his family. The next day, Lloyd's editor assigns him to interview Fred Rogers for a 400-word article about heroes. Lloyd travels to the WQED studio in Pittsburgh to interview Rogers. During the interview, Rogers is dismissive of his fame and displays concern for Lloyd's nose injury, learning about his grudge against his father. Meanwhile, Lloyd Meanwhile, Lloyd rebuffs Jerry's apology and attempt at reconciliation. I had it right. Reconciliation. Wow.
Would you believe English is his first language?
Yeah. Reading it and saying it are two very different things.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Determined to expose Rogers' nice persona as an act, Lloyd watches several episodes of Rogers' show, but is unable to discern anything. Lloyd interviews Rogers again when he visits New York. During the interview, Rogers dodges Lloyd's questions and reminisces, thank you, about raising his two sons, provoking Lloyd into ending the interview. Lloyd arrives home to find Jerry and his girlfriend Dorothy brought dinner for the family. Lloyd berates Jerry for cheating on his mother, Lila, while she was dying of cancer. He orders him to leave, but Jerry suffers a heart attack and is transported to the hospital. Lloyd refuses to remain overnight at the hospital with the rest of the family. He returns to Pittsburgh to see Rogers. Lloyd, exhausted and I'm so sorry. Lloyd, exhausted, collapses on the set of The Neighborhood of Make-Believe. Lloyd dreams about his repressed childhood trauma. In his dream, he stumbles into an episode of Rogers' show about hospitals, finding himself wearing rabbit ears and shrunken to the size of Daniel Striped Tiger and King Friday the 13th. While Rogers and Andrea tower over him, he visits his dying mother, who urges him to release his anger. Rogers and his wife, Joanne, bring Lloyd to their home to recuperate. Lloyd and Rogers later go to a restaurant where Rogers asks Lloyd to spend 1 minute thinking about the people who loved him into being, and encourages him to forgive Jerry. Lloyd apologizes to Andrea for leaving her and Gavin at the hospital and visits Jerry and Dorothy at their home. He learns that Jerry is dying of a prolonged illness, the reason why Jerry attempted to reconnect with Lloyd. Lloyd forgives Jerry, promises to be a better father to Gavin, and writes an article about Rogers' impact on his life. Lorraine, her husband, Todd, and Rogers visit Jerry. Rogers asks Jerry to pray for him before he departs. Jerry dies shortly after Rogers visits, and Lloyd's 10,000-word article titled "Can You Say Hero?" is published as Esquire's cover story.
Awesome.
Wow, I butchered that very badly, and I apologize.
No, you're good.
That's like the most detailed plot I think I've heard in a long time. Like that was like almost line for line of the movie, I feel like.
The beauty of Wikipedia.
I need to spend more time on there.
Yeah. So,
Oh.
I really dug how they treated this whole movie like an episode of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
I did too. It like, because I totally forgot the trailer, like honestly. So when it first opens up, and then like he's showing the like picture thing that he has, and he opens it to Lloyd, and he's just like, "Let's meet my friend Lloyd." I'm like, "What the hell is this? Like, where are we going here?" But as the story went along, I loved it more and more.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I was not expecting it to be like taken in that way, I guess. Like, I don't know. I felt like it was more creative to do it that way. And I was really honestly just expecting like a straight up almost biography. Like I didn't know how it was going to start, and then I loved all the transitions where you were in the little train table kind of set of the different cities that it was taking place in.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was.
Like, I don't remember, like, I haven't seen an episode of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood since I was a kid.
I haven't either. It's been a while.
But it kind of, like, just floods you with, like, nostalgia. Like, in the first 3 seconds.
I had the biggest smile on my face hearing Tom Hanks say, "Hello, neighbor." Oh my gosh.
Right?
Oh,
yeah.
That made me so happy.
And just like the way he's, obviously he's an amazing actor, but he really paid attention to all of Roger's mannerisms and like the little shoe toss and how he put his sweater on and just all of his little transitions. It was like transported back to watching Mr. Rogers.
It was.
It's pretty great.
And I don't know if you guys knew this, but Fred Rogers' like actual real life wife actually gave Tom Hanks some of his actual ties to wear for this movie.
Really?
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that.
So cool.
Did you?
Oh.
Do you guys know they're related?
Yeah, they're like
Tom Hanks and
like six. They're like six
cousins or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
I forget. Yeah, I forget who was interviewing him, but it was somebody like the Nightly News or something, and they did like a history genealogy research real quick, and yeah, Fred Rogers is like his second or third uncle removed or something crazy. Yeah.
So wholesomeness runs in the family.
Right.
Oh, that's freaking great. And I love that little tidbit about the ties. That's awesome.
I feel that would just get me more into character if someone did that, if I was playing someone.
Right? I felt during this that if I was put in the same position as Lloyd, I would have been very skeptical of Mr. Rogers too.
Mm-hmm.
And just like trying to be like, okay, like what's this dude really about?
Yeah.
But I just love that he's like doing all this research and just isn't finding anything that he could write bad about him.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the part. Sorry.
I love the part where he like is telling his wife Joanna that he's interviewing Mr. Rogers, and she just says, "Please don't ruin my childhood." I just thought that was so perfect because it's like every time you hear about somebody, they've got some crazy messed up past, and yeah, I was kind of holding my breath, waiting for like but he did this terrible thing, and yeah, I think it was really. Unless there's going to be some expose that's coming pretty quickly after this that says like he was a terrible person, which I highly doubt. Like I can't imagine a nicer or better person to have to profile.
Agreed.
Yeah, same. I like how he wasn't even with the talks, he wasn't really trying to hide anything about his past. Like when he was that second part of the interview that they had in his apartment, and where he was talking about like the hard times that he had with his own children, it just basically all these other people are telling him like, oh, we have had our hard times with him and blah blah blah, and he's even open about that and talking like, oh yeah, I've had these hard times with my children, and sometimes I didn't know what to do to handle them.
Like,
and
didn't he say like his oldest just like barely came out and said that was his father?
mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a comedian I listened to that talks, or he met one of his heroes, Bruce Springsteen. And he was talking, or he said that he was talking to Springsteen about his kid. And he says that he had a moment like of realization, like it's not, everyone else views, and then like in this instance, everyone views him as Mr. Rogers. And then to his son, that's just his dad. And I think we have a different perspective of our parents than other people. And it's kind of like the whole, like with like Kristen Bell, like all the kids think she's the shit because she's voices Anna and Frozen, but her kids could care less.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then it's like the same like with Chris Pratt's kid. His favorite superhero is Captain America.
That's got to be like the biggest blow to the heart ever.
Yeah. But like I was just thinking about that the whole time. I'm just like, that's like, how true would that be? Like, it's not, oh, my dad's Mr. Rogers. It's just, oh, my dad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what I loved about it, is just from Mr. Rogers' perspective, the way he treated everybody was the same, which is like so rare. You know, you're not coming at it with like, okay, this is my best friend, or this is some stranger who's bumping into me on the subway, so like I'm already kind of irritated. It's just like everybody's a valued human, which is so special. But as a kid, it's hard to get that kind of perspective, especially when it's your parent.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like how they kind of talked about all the like the harder subjects that he talks over. Like I don't remember him ever like I don't think I've ever seen the episodes where he talks about like war or death.
I haven't either. I had no idea he even touched upon that.
Yeah. But
I really
Yeah, I remembered some of those, like when they mentioned the death one. Like I vividly remember watching that episode as a little kid and being like, oh, okay, so like everybody's uncomfortable with death. Like that makes me feel better. You know, because as a kid, it's such a tough concept to wrap your head around.
Yeah.
And it's so, I think that's what makes him super special too, is like there's rarely a person who's willing to just say, this makes everything or everyone uncomfortable. You know, like you don't put your ego aside enough to just say like, yeah, I'm scared of this, or this makes me nervous, or whatever. Like it's a cool thing.
yeah. I like how he just tried to keep the show real. Like they showed it really well in this, that he just tried to keep the show real. Like when they were trying to get him to set up the tent, and they're like, okay, we can get someone to set this up, and he's like, no, that's fine. And then told Lloyd, he's like, kids need to know that adults need help too, or they struggle with things too, and they need to see that. And I'm like, yeah. We do.
Yeah, I loved that part.
Absolutely.
One of the other things in this that really stuck out to me was that 60 minutes of silence.
Oh yeah, in the Chinese restaurant.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, is it just me, or was Tom Hanks looking directly?
He was looking at the camera.
He was? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because I was just like, is Tom Hanks looking into my soul right now?
No, Mr. Rogers was looking
sorry.
into your soul.
Okay, I'm sorry. Mr. Rogers was looking into my soul at that point.
Ugh. That was just great.
It really was. It absolutely was.
But it was amazing. And honestly, the pauses and the silence in it were like equally unnerving, but so like special, because you know, you don't do that in movies today. Like it's so fast paced, and to have this like kind of slow roll the whole time was really different.
Dude, I had a hard time trying to not choke up. Like a really hard
100%.
time.
And Caleb is not a crier, so hearing him say that, like,
Dude, because like if you participate in that and you actually I stopped thinking about it because I was like, I'm like, okay, like I'll start thinking about it. And I started and I'm like, I can't do it.
Oh, I was like full on tears in the movie theater. I just owned it because it's Mr. Rogers. I feel like everybody was crying.
Oh, yeah. This whole movie was just great. Like I said, it felt like an episode of his show.
yeah, it did.
Like obviously it had like better acting in it.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
Some of the skits were a little cheesy.
Just a little bit. It's for kids. Kids love cheese.
Yeah. And that's why I can like let that go. But with this, it's great.
It was.
Everything about it was great. So sorry.
One like burning question, and it's the stupidest question ever that I took out of that movie is, do you guys know the kids show now, Daniel Tiger? Have you heard of that?
No, I haven't.
The only reason I know of it is because I have like twin niece and nephews that are 2, and so it's like crack to them. You put it on and they're like angels. But it's called Daniel Tiger, and then I'm watching Mr. Rogers and his puppet is named Daniel and it's a tiger, and I was just like, is Daniel Tiger the cartoon Mr. Rogers Daniel Tiger? Like, I need to Google it. I still haven't.
Ooh. That's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a really good question.
Yeah. Huh.
You guys have a second show off of this one now. Go
Yeah, we
do all
do.
that research.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. I felt like the story had like a really good combination of being like set in some sort of like reality, and then just kind of some of like the dream sequences, like especially when Lloyd like passed out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Like some of those sequences were really good.
Because let's face it, he was where everybody wanted to be as a kid. We all wanted to be on that set.
Yeah, we did.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
But just like the stuff that he went through with that, sitting there and Mr. Rogers being like, just say you're sad, say you're angry, and he would say he's just like, I'm sad, and just kind of like just accepting his own feelings.
Yeah.
Because I feel like as an adult, that's something I personally have an issue doing sometimes.
I do as well.
Absolutely. That was the part in the movie when I was like, oh my God, Mr. Rogers is a life coach. Like, I know that's the industry I'm in, so I'm like always tuned into that. But that's like, it's so freaking important. And when you're a kid, you learn to say like, I'm sad, I'm mad, my boyfriend's nephew was just over earlier tonight, and he was like, I was in the red zone at school today, which means like he was really angry. The teacher has like zones for the kids, and it's like, how did we forget how to own our feelings, and that it's okay to feel like really frustrated or really happy or sad for no good reason, quote unquote. Like it just made me really happy, because I feel like so many people run through life like avoiding how they're really feeling. And when you start accepting it is when you can move through it, and then like life gets better. That's my little plug for life coaching.
Yeah. I think this movie also helped a lot of people realize that the Mr. Rogers wasn't just a kid's show.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Because I really liked the part where Lloyd was putting his bait, or Gavin, in the crib in front of Mr. Rogers' show, but he was just as enthralled with that show as his kid was.
Absolutely.
So
I really liked a lot of the interactions that that Mr. Rogers had with like the staff on the show too, because I could feel like being in his staff's or the show's staff's like what do you want to call it? Shoes. And just being frustrated, like, oh my God, he's having another like 3-hour conversation with a kid that's sick and their parents. And yes, it's sweet, but like we have a show to make. But then to just see that Mr. Rogers so fully was like present in being the lessons that he was trying to teach, that he's willing to like frustrate the producer and the other people working on the show. But then at the same time, they really appreciate it because it's so honest and true to who he is. Like, I think I would have loved and been equally frustrated with working on that show because I'm such like a, like, okay, let's get stuff done person that like moving that slow would drive me crazy, but it would also be such a good reminder.
Yeah. I liked how all of the, like you said, all the staff, they seemed really like grounded.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that would just be the byproduct of working with someone like him.
Oh, absolutely.
Like you could just kind of learn to chill.
Yeah. No kidding.
Totally. Well, and like how supportive would that work environment be? You know, like so many people go into work and you're scared of being like yelled at by your boss or not delivering on like a project. And you're just like always in that stress reaction. But if you go into work and you know you're working for Mr. Rogers, like you're just going to receive kindness and love and like probably cookies every other day. Like that would be amazing.
That would be great.
That would.
Yeah.
Can you say dream job?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if we have like a Mr. Rogers equivalent nowadays.
I don't think we do.
No, I don't think
I also don't watch a lot of kid shows nowadays, so I could be just off the mark.
Yeah, well, my cousins, they used to watch a lot of those like kiddie shows, and the hosts of them, like Yo Gabba Gabba, they're just very just hyper. It feels like they're not calm.
No.
I also feel like things have just changed so much that a show like Mr. Rogers couldn't be made today. Like people our attention spans are so much shorter. People want like big entertainment for every second that like they're not willing to just sit and receive a lesson that's like told in a really imperfect yet sincere way. You know, like I don't even know if Mr. Rogers could necessarily be as successful today if he had like just started making his like public access show today. Like would he receive the same level of fame? I don't know.
Probably not on like a network, but I could see him kind of working out on YouTube.
That's true. Yeah.
What about Netflix?
That's very true.
Ooh.
Or Netflix.
That'd be a good one too. I could see like Netflix or like Disney Plus picking him up.
I could definitely see Disney Plus. I feel that
if he was coming out today, of course.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but one thing about this movie that blew my mind, I was one of those people that believed the whole Mr. Rogers being a sharpshooter thing.
Okay.
So when
was he not?
No, he was. Like, they said that in the show. He's just like, so I hear you were a sharpshooter. And he's just like, no, that wasn't true.
Oh,
and
I like totally missed that line.
Yeah, like that. I leaned over to my wife and I was just like, what?
Didn't they also touch upon like the whole like tattoo thing as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's this.
I missed that too.
Yeah, there's this whole thing that the reason he wore long shirts or long sleeve shirts and long sweaters was because his arms were all tatted up because he was a sharpshooter back in the day. But yeah, like they didn't even like touch upon that. It was just he was swimming and just didn't have any tattoos.
Well, and also he always wore white shirts. You could clearly have seen tattoos through that.
Yeah, but they have undershirts and stuff for that.
Okay, but he usually always just wore like a short sleeve undershirt.
No, he didn't.
I thought he was.
A short sleeve undershirt?
Yeah. So I feel that his arm's still exposed.
Okay, in black and white.
Okay, good point. I thought Mr. Rogers was always in color.
No, not when it first started out.
Oh, wasn't?
Mm-mm.
Oh. See, I didn't see a lot of the original Mr. Rogers. I only saw like mostly when
Well,
like
all of
he
it
came
was
back.
original.
Okay. Like when he was a little bit younger. I mostly saw the episodes when he like came back when he was, where this movie picks up.
Yeah.
Is,
Yeah, I didn't realize he was like on air and then went off air for a few years. Like in the early 70s or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I only remember the color, like in color kind of 70s, 80s feeling ones.
Yeah.
Can we talk about clothes? Because like every outfit I saw, I thought they did the 90s really freaking well. Like Lloyd was just in baggy garbage jeans and like bad oversized like suit coats.
oh my
and
gosh,
I'm like,
that
oh my God, yeah, it's
oversized
the 90s.
suit coat. Oh my gosh.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Like he looked like a little kid like trying on his dad's suit coat. But it worked because it was the 90s and that's how everybody looked.
Yeah.
So we'll actually get to that. Like that has its own little segment with costumes.
Okay. Sorry.
No,
I jumped
you're
ahead.
fine. You're fine.
No, like I'm excited to talk about that too. So what are we thinking for like a grade? So this is out of 100 for story.
Mm.
And I had like zero issues with the story.
I do too.
Yeah, I think it was all really well done. Yeah, I can't think of a problem with the story necessarily. There was that one scene with Mr. Rogers and Lloyd when he's getting interviewed for the second time, like in Mr. Rogers' living room. I did get frustrated with Mr. Rogers kind of like dancing around some of the harder questions Lloyd was asking him. But I do also think it was just how Mr. Rogers probably behaved. Like he didn't want attention on him because he was always kind of in that more selfless like way of being, like trying to help the other people around him. But then that just makes me want to psychoanalyze him because what's really wrong with you?
Yeah.
I don't know. That was my only like minor issue. But that's just because I like overanalyzing stuff.
Yeah, everything, like all the beats, like the flow of the story went really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everything with Lloyd, I mean, everything flowed. Everything went where I felt the director wanted it to go.
Agreed.
Nothing felt janky or out of place. I mean, I'm in the high 90s.
I have too. 95?
I can do 95. What about you?
Yeah, I'm on board. What year in the 90s was it supposed to take place? Give it that. Was it like 97?
98.
Yeah, 98.
Then I'd vote 98 just to be goofy and matchy.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, I'll give it a 98.
Let's do 98.
Why not?
All right, next up we got writing. So just kind of how the script worked.
Mm-hmm.
I think I didn't have very many issues with the writing overall. I think there were just some things that were, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe what I'm thinking with that one. There's not necessary. It just felt like some filler.
Mm.
Like, what parts do you think felt like filler?
There's a lot of the stuff. What was his name? Bill, with the producer.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
There's a lot of stuff with him that just felt like he was, I don't know, just the back and forth was just felt a little odd to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I feel like they made the point with Bill fairly early on with like how protective he was over Mr. Rogers, and then they like didn't need to keep doing it. Like I kind of felt like that was Bill's role.
That was a good point.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, kind of like just beating a dead horse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so for that, just because like it did keep coming up, even out like after the initial like setting that up, and then just the times that it did come up over and over. I'm like the lower 90s for that one, just because the rest of it was pretty on point. With
Yeah, it was, but yeah, I can agree with you there.
So what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'd agree. Because I really think a lot of the writing was done really well. Like, realistic and, I don't know, carried the characters well. Like, especially with Joanna and, like, Jerry and that whole, like, family dynamic. I thought they played that out really well.
Yeah, they did, definitely. So, what are you guys thinking?
I'd be with you in, like, low 90s territory.
I'm at, like, a 91.
I could do 91.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
91.
All right, 91 it is.
Sweet.
All right, next up we got acting, and we're going to grade Tom Hanks, who played Fred Rogers, and then Matthew Reese, who played Lloyd Vogel. Yep. So let's start off with Matthew Reese.
I really liked him. I'd give high marks. Do you guys know like other stuff that he's done? Like, have you watched The Americans or anything?
I have not, so I think this was his first performance I've ever seen.
Oh my god! Well, I recommend The Americans to you guys because it's a really freaking good show.
Okay.
And he's British too, so I think he does an American accent really well.
If he is, damn, yeah, he killed it.
Yeah. Yeah, I really liked him. Like, I felt like he was really just honest and genuine and, like, played the fluctuating emotions he had really well, obviously. Like, he's a professional, but...
He did, like, honestly, the part where he comes home and he sees his dad and his dad's girlfriend at his house, like, when he's, like, explaining, like, you know, like, how he left his mother and all this stuff, like, it almost brought tears to my eyes. Because you could tell, like, how much anger he had towards his father.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He did play angry really well. Like, all the emotions that, like, he had to play with some, like, really strong emotions.
Yeah, he did.
Sadness, anger, like, just rage at some points.
Yeah.
And he played them really well.
He did. Very, very well.
And I think his like softness when it came to interacting with Gavin and like that scene at the end where he's like making promises to Gavin about like how he doesn't know how he's going to do it, but he's going to try to be better. It was just like really beautiful to see because you could tell that was underlying his frustration the whole movie, you know, but he was finally like accepting it and kind of connecting with it.
Yeah. Yeah. His like the strong, I think he did better with the more intense emotions and even like the softer one. I mean, even though that is kind of like, I feel is like an intense emotion.
Yeah, it was an intense reaction.
Yeah. It's just, I think the issues I had were with his emotions that were kind of in the middle. Like where he was just kind of like happy and getting along with everyone. I think that was where I'm like, okay, this feels weird.
Yeah. that did feel a little weird.
Other than that, like that doesn't dock him very much for me. I'm not quite 95 though. I'm like sitting at like 94 with him.
I can agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, 94 sounds good. Like, I definitely agree that there were some times when he was like okay, where it was kind of like, is something about to happen? Like, I feel like this isn't where you are normally.
Yeah. All right, so 94 for Matthew Reese and Tom Hanks.
I'd give him 100. That's just me.
Oh yeah, it's Tom Hanks. Like he just did it so well. like so well.
I loved him as much as when he played Walt Disney. I swear that man can do no wrong.
I just watched that movie for the first time this weekend, Saving Mr. Banks.
What did you think?
I loved it.
Oh,
It's so freaking good. And then it made me want to go back and watch Mary Poppins, of course. But like him and I forget the British actress that played the woman that wrote Mary Poppins.
Emma Thompson?
Yeah, she's so good.
Yeah, she played P.L. Travers amazingly. She was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And that's such an interesting story. I know now we're really in tangent land, but yeah, great movie.
Still find it funny that the ending is kind of not true, or at least with the premiere of Mary Poppins.
Oh, it wasn't true? That didn't go down?
So it does happen that like Walt Disney does not invite P.L. Travers to the opening of it, but I don't think she ever actually did show up like she does in the movie.
Oh.
She just kind of was like, well, that's just BS, and basically wrote off, you can never touch Mary Poppins again.
Oh, wow.
They did not. They did not end on good terms. They were enemies. They hated each other.
Wow. That's interesting. Yeah. Well, and that makes sense too. Like I don't ever see like a British or Australian person like inviting themselves when they haven't been invited. They have manners unlike Americans. Okay, I did not receive an official invite. I am not coming. I'm just going to curse you from over here.
I can agree with you. I can do 100 real easy for Tom Hanks.
Yes.
He was so good.
So we all in agreement with 100?
I'd say so.
Mm-hmm. All right. So that averages out to 97.5 for the overall grading or acting.
Wow.
All right. Next up, we got character development, and I feel like we should do Lloyd for this one.
Yeah, that's really the only.
This is like his story.
Mr. Rogers just stayed Mr. Rogers.
Yeah. He just stayed perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So like his arc was really good.
It was. I loved watching him basically finally learn how to accept not accept, but forgive what his father did to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like this movie it could be in a film class about like, this is what a character arc is, because it's so like perfectly aligned. Like he starts talking to his editor saying like, I'm going to find something wrong with Mr. Rogers. And his editor basically saying like, nope, it's like a puff piece. It's 400 words. Just like go interview him. Everyone loves him. And then like his whole journey with Mr. Rogers as well as with his dad. That was really great.
Yeah. I feel like he should have gotten yelled at more, because wasn't there like a deadline?
Oh, for sure. That was one of my thoughts at the very end. I was like, is this deadline not past times 10 right now? Because this is supposed to be like 400 words.
Yeah, like that was something I was thinking. I'm just like, has he written the piece yet?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is he like fired? What's going on?
Seriously, can I work for this magazine? Because it seems like I got all the time in the world.
Yeah, you get hired on. They're like, this is your assignment, and then you just, when you retire, you turn it in.
Yeah, just finish it whenever.
It's like, well, you said I could finish it whenever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so it followed him from being someone that was just, I don't know how his stuff was after this, but it seems like before there was just a lot of anger in him, and he was just trying to expose it from other people, or just trying to incite that out of other people that he was writing about.
Mm-hmm. Well, and doesn't he say that kind of early on? And I don't know if it's his first interview with Mr. Rogers, but he basically is like, every person is guilty until proven innocent. Like every person's done something bad or isn't great. And that's kind of his mission in life, to expose.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely something that he talked about. And then Mr. Rogers kind of like called him out on it, just being like, Like, what's the deal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how just like up front he seemed about everything. Just
It's so cool. It's like he totally is willing to just share like a mirror for people. Like, okay, this is what you're showing the world right now. Is it really true? Like, why are you doing this?
yeah. And even when he was doing that, like I think, at least with me, if I notice that someone's doing something like that, I'll call them out and I'll be kind of aggressive about it, like kind of like throwing it back at them. He never really did that. It never felt like he was judging you or like throwing it back in your face, being like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
It was just more like, "Hey, what's going on?"
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes, like, that's kind of why I wrote the article I did, because how rare is it to have someone just simply state something back to you, but not have it be loaded? Like, okay, I expect this of you, or you're kind of acting like a jackass right now. It's just like, interesting, you have anger. And that was it. Like, you can't react negatively back to that because there's like no emotion coming at you. It's just a statement of fact. You know? It's fascinating. Like, yeah, it's absolutely fascinating.
I can also totally get on Lloyd's team because that would be really frustrating.
Oh my God. If I were Lloyd, I honestly would have walked away and just been like, I can't do this. Like, having that much anger and then meeting somebody who's that chill and like that just like accepting of whatever you're going to bring to him, like that's infuriating when you're that charged.
This man's too perfect. I'm sorry, I can't do this.
Well, seriously. And like, as we're talking about this, I keep thinking like, okay, what's going to happen in another 6 months when like something comes out that Mr. Rogers is like terrible, but like nothing has ever come out. And so is he really this good? Like, I want someone to write a biography about him or something, you know?
Yeah. Like
do a deep dive.
Didn't they do like somewhat of a biography movie on him called Won't You Be My Neighbor? That came out like last year.
Oh, really?
I think they did.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
I need to look that up.
I've heard it's really good.
That was coming out when this movie was announced, right?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, 2018 it says it came out.
Ooh. Yeah.
That has a 98 on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's actually beating this movie.
Jeez.
I've been wanting
Sorry, guys.
I've been wanting to pick that movie up on Blu-ray, but it's still like $20.
Yeah, because it's Mr.
It's on Prime Video.
Rogers.
Bummer. Why are all videos free now? Like, okay, aside from the fact that the movie industry is an industry and like you have to make money, but like $20 for a Blu-ray or like $8 to rent it on Amazon Video, like come on.
Yeah, welcome to our world.
I know, and this is just like a one-off movie. Like the last time I rented a movie, I think was like a year ago.
Yeah. So, yeah, like we were saying, so you follow him from being someone that's like angry, trying to just incite that rage in other people about this with the stuff that he writes about them, meeting Mr. Rogers, and then it just like you can see him like trying to fight back all these emotions that he's having and all these things that Mr. Rogers is making him think about. Because like you can tell when he's like, "Oh, what's up with your father?" Like with the second interview especially, and he's talking about like making him think about his old rabbit and think about his mom. And I loved how like you could tell when he was getting angry because like you would hear that like humming sound in the back, or just like the what is it called, like the like white noise. I guess is what you'd call it.
I think I would classify it as that.
Yeah. So just like all that stuff that he doesn't want to address, that's just the being like just what's being toxic to him. And just everyone around him is just kind of getting all this stuff that he's all this venom. So, and then at the end, it seems like he's in like a much healthier place. much healthier space.
Absolutely.
And then there's also like these things that he doesn't want to deal with. Like they're trying to not deal with the fact that his dad, or what's his name, Jerry?
Yep, Jerry.
Yeah, that Jerry was dying, but Mr. Rogers was just like, yeah, it makes people uncomfortable, and then everyone just kind of accepts it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it just shows you too how much like people, you build up a thing, and then the second you like talk about it or even just like say that it's there, it loses so much power. Like I thought that was a really cool aspect of this whole thing. Like Lloyd had all this frustration at Jerry, and then once they're over at Jerry's house and his girlfriend, was her name Dorothy?
I think so,
I
yes.
think.
Yeah.
Is talking about like, yeah, I didn't even know you guys existed until like a year ago. So like you're kind of seeing Jerry's journey too, and like all you have to do is speak it out, and then it starts to lose its power and it becomes more manageable. And yeah, I just thought that was a cool part of the arc too.
Yeah. So what are you guys thinking? What are you thinking, Whitney?
I have a hard time rating things really high because I feel like there's always a way you could deconstruct it to be like, this could have been better. But I don't know. I would say like low 90s, high 80s. That's what I'd give it.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm sitting around there too. Rose?
I'm at like the same place you guys are at. If I had to like narrow it down to a score, I'm at like an 89.
An 89?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I can do that. Whitney?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 89
All right,
sounds
89.
good.
All right, next up we got effects, which there weren't any like special effects, but I think what we can consider the effects are just how they made this seem like the show.
Oh, they did it so flawlessly.
Mm-hmm.
It looks so great.
They totally did.
Yeah, I loved the setup of the little towns. Like, and the planes and just like all of that.
Yeah,
So
like I
well
love
done.
like the traveling, like the transitions, like whenever you knew that he was flying to New York or flying to Philadelphia, they did the plane thing. I wish that they would have done like kept that consistent though, because there were times where Lloyd was in a taxi, and they just like showed the taxi, and I think they did that with the bus too. They just showed him in the bus. And they didn't cut to like the little playset bus or a playset taxi, which I feel like they should have just to keep the consistency.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Because they did that at the very beginning when they were like going over the bridge in New York City. They did like the shot on the little set with the cars and like horns honking and stuff. And so I got really excited thinking like, holy crap, like every little transition is going to be in the neighborhood. Yeah, and then they didn't really like follow through all the way through.
So, I think that's more of like a consistency issue than anything, but I think that can count as an effect.
It does. I think so.
So just because of the consistency issue, I'm in like the mid 80s with that, like 85.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
85.
Cool. All right, next up we got music, and this one's out of 10. So,
did anyone else want to start singing along? just
Oh, totally. In that subway scene when all the kids are singing, I was like singing along in my seat quietly. Like,
exactly. Oh, it's such a classic song.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I heard some people humming.
But like, I have to. Aw. But like, outside of that song, like, I can't remember any of the music that like or score that was in the movie.
Yeah, a lot of it was just like the kind of music that he had in the show. It was very like just piano, music, nothing very like in your face. Like you're not going to get no freaking like Soldier Boy.
That That would be
There's
very
just
odd
a lot
if
of
we
like
did.
instrumental music.
If anyone ever thought of doing that to Mr. Rogers, I want to punch him in the face right now.
So, I felt like the music fit very well. Like what I did notice, it was just like the very like piano, like instrumental music with like playing the piano on like the higher keys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have any issues, but it wasn't like outstanding music either.
It's kind of monotone, but it worked well for the movie.
It did.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Like
what are you thinking?
I'm at like an 8.
8?
Yeah.
I was gonna say like 7.
Yeah, I'm sitting at a 7.
Like I love the one song, but like that was it. You know.
Yeah, I'm sitting around a 7 too.
All right, I can do a 7.
7?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm not going to argue.
Well, you were outnumbered anyway, Rose.
Okay, that's true. Hey, I could have argued. I'm pretty sure I could have. Yeah.
We could have compromised. 7.5.
All right, next up, which is one that I think we're all excited to talk about, costumes. And this one's out of 10 too.
Sweater vests were so perfect.
Oh, they nailed. Obviously, he was literally wearing some of Mr. Rogers' neckties, so like obviously they nailed his outfits. But yeah, I thought they did the 90s really well.
They did. Like I said with oh my gosh, what's his name again? Lloyd. That one suit coat. I think it was brown. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
It looks so bad.
What I really appreciated about the costumes, and I feel like other movies set in the past do this a little too hard. They didn't throw the 90s in your face.
No, they didn't.
Mm-mm. It just was the 90s. Like in that wedding scene, like all the women were in like spaghetti strap dresses because that's what everyone wore in the 90s, you know, and it was just like, here's a baggy suit and like a tank top because that's what everybody wore. But it wasn't like the 70s where they put everybody in like an oversized like collar trying to like exaggerate the disco.
And I feel like very easily could have done this. Put them on like a what are those called? The wind blockers.
That was windbreaker.
The windbreaker. Like the windbreaker.
Oh yeah, windbreaker.
Tracksuits.
Classic.
Like they could have easily done that, but I appreciate that they didn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they could have worked in like a fanny pack and stuff there too, and they had
Haven't
some
those
taste.
been trying to make a comeback recently? Okay.
I don't think it's trying.
Crap.
I think it's actually happened. Like the amount that I've seen in the last year is pretty scary.
But they're just so convenient.
It is.
Totally.
I'll give you that. It is.
So yeah, I love the costumes in this. I liked how it wasn't just over the top 90s shit, but it was like
It still felt like the 90s.
Like I feel like
Totally.
they could.
Yeah,
10?
I'd say a 10. Like, sorry to jump the gun, but like the costumes were
really
so good.
Yeah.
I can easily do a 10.
I can too.
All right, and then last, just an overall grade, how we felt this movie just was in general.
Who wants to start?
Yes, this one's
Is this
out of
of
100.
100 or 10? Okay. I'm gonna say 98 because it was just so beautifully done, and I don't know, it's so simple, which I think is part of why it's so great.
I agree. Yeah, I was in the high 90s. I can easily do a 98. I think everything about this was just wholesome, just good. Like this is a movie that I didn't think I was going to be able to like show like my kid, but I mean obviously once she gets to the point where she can understand shit, I think she can.
Give her like a couple weeks.
Definitely the key here.
Yeah, like once she's able to like understand like speaking, I think this is something I would feel comfortable turning this on and just like leaving her in front of it, because it's basically just a Mr. Rogers episode.
It is.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, I think I was surprised by it. Like I went in just expecting to like have some memories brought up and like Tom Hanks is great and like this will be a nice movie, but it was just so beautifully done. Like it just, yeah, it blew me away.
Yeah, they just the way that they put everything together made it feel like an episode, but not at the same time.
Yeah, they really nailed what Mr. Rogers always tried to get across in every episode.
Yeah, like he covers some heavy stuff in this.
Yeah,
they cover
really
death, they cover anger, they cover. I mean, they don't get into like war or anything, but
I mean, it kind of was a war between
an inner war.
Yeah, an inner war. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can easily do a 98.
I can too,
Absolutely.
easily.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 98 it is. All right, and that concludes this breakdown, and our final grade for A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood is an A minus.
It's not bad at all.
Okay.
Nope.
It's an
So it's
awful
sitting at a
accent.
91 and a half.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so it's a
right.
pretty solid A minus. Like, let me see what my formula for an A minus is. Yeah, so an A is a 94, and an A minus, the cutoff is 90. So it's 1.5 points into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is actually, like, this is in line with, I mean, from our past breakdowns, this is in line with The Joker.
I can agree with that.
Mm.
It's a point above Rocket Man,
Okay.
and it's it's below Avengers Endgame.
Maybe some like
I
inherent
don't know what you're talking
bias.
about.
I don't know.
Just a little bit.
It's in line with Us.
I do think it's better. Better.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, it's
I
so
almost
good.
watched it the other night.
It's really good.
Oh, okay. That's my weekend right now. Is that and maybe
There we go.
it?
It's above How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World.
Oh, okay.
And it's below Bohemian Rhapsody and below The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
They are.
Mhm.
Those are both so good. They're so good.
Yeah, so that's
What did you guys give Bohemian Rhapsody?
Bohemian Rhapsody's an A, sitting at 95.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Agreed.
Buster Scruggs is a little bit above that. It's like 95.2.
Totally. Because there was like one little vignette or whatever you want to call them that like just I was not a fan of. And I can't remember what one it was now because it's been like a year since I watched that.
Yeah, so like we said, sitting at an A minus with a 91.5%.
Not too shabby.
Yeah. So that concludes this breakdown. So Whitney, would you like to tell everyone where they can find you and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me on Instagram at wit_beingopen, and that's with 2 P's because that's how you technically spell my like, crazy last name. And then beingopen.com. So that's being and then open with 2 P's.com. Yeah, and I do life coaching focused on relationships, and I'm around. I work with men and women, just breaking patterns and living better lives.
Well, cool. Well, Rose needs help to stop apologizing so often. So,
hey, I had that problem for a long time, and I have
So
moved
can you
through
help
it. So,
Caleb not be
yep,
as big of an
it can
asshole
happen.
as he's being right now?
That's impossible.
Yeah, that
If he
would never
wants to
happen.
be, yeah.
That will never happen.
Yeah, the desire has to be there, and it is not.
Exactly.
All right, well, cool. Yeah, so go check out her stuff. You sent
thanks,
us
guys.
or you, like you said, I think you mentioned it. You wrote an article about Mr. Rogers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I did, yeah. It's called The Unlikely Spiritual Teachings of Mr. Rogers, and you can find it on elephantjournal.com, or I've got it linked
It's
in my
really good.
Instagram bio.
It is so good.
So.
Yeah, good job.
Oh,
it was
thanks, guys.
fantastic.
Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. It just happens. He's so special. And I was like, holy crap, this man's like a Zen monk or something. He's crazy.
And
in a
we'll
good way.
link all of your stuff in the description of this episode too, so people can know where to find you.
Awesome.
All right. Well,
Cool. Thanks, guys.
if you like this episode and want to check out more stuff, you can subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Radio Public, or Spotify, or basically anywhere else you can think to find a podcast. All of our content also gets released on YouTube. New videos will be headed your way shortly.
This month.
This month.
Finally.
Like we say every freaking week. Yeah, you can also find us on social media. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/The Allbros. We are on Twitter and Instagram at The Allbros. And our email is at theallbroschannel@gmail.com. And we have a website, tinyurl.com/The Allbros. We are also, well, I'm currently working on a store of sorts that you can find. Like the progress of it is on teespring.com/store/The Allbros, where you can find all of the episode art that we use. I make it into shirts and stuff. And socks.
Yeah.
People love kitschy socks. That's genius.
Yeah. So yeah, if you have a movie you want us to break down, a showdown idea, or want to give us a topic to do a Dreamcast on, email us or message us on social media. We would love to hear from you guys. Next week, we are going to be doing a breakdown of the movie industry. Was it last week that this came up?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So last week we started questioning how people make money from movies, and we're gonna figure all that out. Talk about it.
Yeah.
Wikipedia, here we come.
Right? at least this will actually be fun math.
That's true. Yeah. All right. Well, we will catch you guys next week, and once again, thank you, Whitney, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
glad
thanks for
you were
having me,
able to
guys. It was a
make on
blast.
here.
Yeah.
All right. And until next week, this has been the All Bros Podcast. I'm Caleb.
And I'm Jonathan.
And we'll catch you guys next week. Deuces.
Adios. Changing it up.
You're not going to do Herbert?
I'm not really feeling it tonight. I'm sorry.
You're lame.
I know I am. I'm sorry.